Peptides for weight loss are everywhere right now. You're seeing them advertised online, recommended by wellness clinics, and discussed in health forums, and many people are reporting significant results. But here's what many people don't realize. Most individuals are using peptides incorrectly. They're choosing the wrong type, taking inappropriate doses, or combining them in ways that can actually interfere with fat loss and potentially harm their health. I'm going to walk you through what the medical research actually shows, which peptides have real clinical evidence behind them, which ones are overhyped, and exactly how to use them safely under proper medical supervision. First, let's establish what peptides actually are, because there's considerable confusion and misleading marketing information circulating in the wellness industry. Peptides are short chains of amino acids, the basic building blocks of proteins. Your body naturally produces thousands of different peptides that regulate everything from tissue growth and repair to metabolism and appetite control. When we discuss peptides for weight loss, we're referring to synthetic, laboratory-created versions of these naturally occurring compounds. They're designed to mimic or enhance specific biological processes in your body. It's important to understand, peptides are not the same as anabolic steroids. They don't work like stimulant-based fat burners, and they're definitely not miracle pills that eliminate fat while you remain sedentary. Instead, peptides work by influencing specific hormonal pathways in your body, particularly growth hormone regulation, metabolic processes, and appetite control mechanisms. Understanding how they work is essential before you consider using them. So, why have peptides gained such popularity for weight loss in recent years? Because some of them produce results that are genuinely significant when used correctly under medical supervision. We're discussing meaningful fat loss while preserving lean muscle mass, improved metabolic function, better recovery from physical activity, and in some cases, appetite suppression that makes calorie restriction more manageable for the long term. But here's the critical point. Not all peptides are created equal. Some have strong clinical research backing from major medical institutions. Others are primarily marketing hype with minimal scientific evidence. Let me break down the most commonly discussed peptides for fat loss, starting with the ones that actually have solid clinical science supporting their use. Peptide number 1, semaglutide. This is the active pharmaceutical ingredient in prescription medications marketed as Ozempic and Wegovy. Medically, it's classified as a GLP-1 receptor agonist. Semaglutide works by mimicking a hormone called GLP-1 that your digestive system naturally produces after you eat. It slows the emptying of your stomach, reduces appetite signals to your brain, and helps regulate blood sugar levels. The clinical research on semaglutide for weight loss is extensive and well documented. According to a landmark study published in the New England Journal of Medicine in 2021, patients lost an average of 15 to 20% of their body weight over a 68-week treatment period. That's substantially more than what's typically achieved with traditional weight loss interventions alone. We're talking real, measurable fat loss that's been replicated across multiple large-scale clinical studies published in The Lancet and other prestigious medical journals. However, semaglutide does come with side effects that you need to be aware of. According to research published in the Journal of the American Medical Association in 2022, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and constipation are common, especially when starting treatment or increasing doses. Some patients cannot tolerate it at all. There's also the rebound weight gain phenomenon. A 2023 study published in Diabetes Care found that many patients regain significant weight after discontinuing semaglutide, particularly if they haven't established sustainable eating habits and lifestyle changes during treatment. And here's something absolutely critical that you must understand. Semaglutide is a prescription medication that requires a doctor's supervision. It's not something you should order from unregulated online sources or overseas pharmacies. Proper medical oversight is mandatory. Peptide number 2, Tirzepatide. This is a newer medication than semaglutide, and it works on 2 different receptors instead of 1, both GLP-1 and GIP receptors. Research published in Nature Medicine in 2022 detailed its dual action mechanism. According to a major clinical trial published in the New England Journal of Medicine in 2022, tirzepatide produces even more substantial weight loss than semaglutide. Patients lost an average of 20 to 25% of their body weight. The dual receptor mechanism appears to be more effective for both appetite suppression and metabolic improvement. However, research published in the Lancet Diabetes and Endocrinology Journal in 2023 indicates it also tends to cause more gastrointestinal side effects initially compared to semaglutide. Like semaglutide, tirzepatide requires a doctor's prescription and regular medical monitoring throughout treatment. This is not a casual supplement you experiment with on your own. Professional healthcare supervision is essential. Now, let's discuss growth hormone-related peptides. These work through a completely different biological mechanism than GLP-1 agonists, and they carry their own distinct benefits and risks that you need to understand. Peptide number 3, CJC1295, combined with ipamorelin. This combination has become popular at peptide therapy clinics for fat loss and body composition improvement, though the evidence is more limited. CJC1295 is a growth hormone-releasing hormone analog. Ipamorelin is classified as a growth hormone segregagogue. According to research in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism, together they stimulate your pituitary gland to release more growth hormone into your bloodstream. Higher growth hormone levels can promote fat loss, especially the dangerous visceral fat around your internal organs, while preserving or even building lean muscle mass. Studies published in Growth Hormone and IGF Research in 2020 show growth hormone also improves sleep quality and physical recovery. However, here's where the scientific evidence becomes considerably weaker. Most research on CJC1295 and ipamorelin comes from small-scale studies or anecdotal reports from clinics. We don't have large, well-controlled clinical trials like we do for semaglutide. The typical treatment protocol involves daily subcutaneous injections, usually administered before bedtime. Dosing recommendations vary considerably depending on which clinic or healthcare provider you're working with. Potential side effects can include water retention, joint discomfort, increased hunger during the initial phase, and possible impacts on blood sugar regulation. According to comprehensive reviews in Endocrine Reviews, long-term safety data remains limited. And here's a major health concern you need to be aware of. Manipulating growth hormone levels carries risks. Research published in the Journal of Endocrinology in 2019 suggests that artificially elevated growth hormone levels over extended periods can potentially increase risks of insulin resistance, joint problems, and other metabolic complications. Peptide number 4, AOD9604. This is a modified fragment of growth hormone that's marketed specifically for fat loss without the muscle-building effects of full growth hormone. However, the evidence supporting it is quite limited. The theory behind AOD9604 is that it stimulates lipolysis, the breakdown of stored fat, while avoiding some of the other effects of full growth hormone. While this sounds appealing, the clinical evidence is thin. The research on AOD 9604 is extremely limited. A small study published in the International Journal of Obesity back in the year 2000 showed modest fat loss, but we're discussing minimal evidence compared to prescription medications like semaglutide. Many peptide clinics promote AOD 9604 quite heavily, despite the weak scientific backing. It's more experimental than evidence-based at this point. Be very cautious about claims made for this peptide. Peptide number 5, MOTS-C. This is a mitochondrial-derived peptide currently being studied for metabolic regulation and fat loss. Research published in Cell Metabolism in 2015 first identified its potential therapeutic properties. MOTS-C appears to improve insulin sensitivity and enhance fat oxidation, meaning your body becomes more efficient at burning stored fat for energy production. Studies published in Nature Communications in 2021 support these biological mechanisms. Early research findings are interesting. Studies conducted in mice and preliminary human trials published in Aging Cell in 2020 suggest potential benefits for metabolic health and body composition. However, we're still in very early stages. But I need to be very clear with you. We're in early-stage research territory with MOTS-C. It's not widely available through legitimate medical channels, and long-term human safety and efficacy studies simply don't exist yet. Now, before we continue further, I need to ask for your help. If you're finding this information valuable and helpful, please click the like button below this video. It helps other people in your age group discover evidence-based health content instead of falling for misleading peptide marketing. And please subscribe if you want more honest, research-based breakdowns of health trends without the hype. All right, so we've covered the main peptides that are being discussed and marketed. Now let's talk about the absolutely critical factors that determine whether peptides will actually work safely for you, or whether you're wasting money and potentially causing serious harm to your health. Factor number 1, source and quality. This is absolutely critical, and it's where most people make dangerous mistakes that can seriously harm their health. Peptides are not regulated by the FDA like approved medications. If you're buying from unregulated online research chemical suppliers or overseas pharmacies, you have absolutely no idea what you're actually receiving. This is extremely dangerous. Studies published in the journal Drug Testing and Analysis in 2018 tested peptides purchased from unregulated sources and found massive quality control failures, wrong dosages, bacterial contamination, and completely different chemical compounds than what was advertised on the label. It's dangerous. If you're going to use peptides, you absolutely must work with a legitimate compounding pharmacy through a licensed, board-certified healthcare provider. Anything else is gambling with your health and potentially your life. Factor number 2, proper dosing and administration technique. Peptides require very precise dosing, and most need to be injected subcutaneously with sterile technique. This isn't something you casually learn from watching videos online. Taking too little means you won't get any therapeutic results. Taking too much significantly increases your risk of side effects and potential long-term health complications. You need professional medical guidance to dose this safely and effectively. Factor number 3, diet and exercise. Here's the honest truth that many peptide clinics won't emphasize because they want your business. According to research published in Obesity Reviews in 2023, peptides are absolutely not a substitute for proper nutrition and regular physical activity. Even semaglutide, the most clinically effective peptide we have for weight loss, works primarily by reducing your appetite and helping you eat less. Research published in Nature Medicine in 2023 confirms that if you're not in a sustained calorie deficit, you will not lose fat. The laws of thermodynamics still apply. The people achieving dramatic, lasting results from peptides are also carefully controlling their diet, exercising consistently several times per week, sleeping 7 to 9 hours nightly, and managing their stress levels. The peptide is a helpful tool, not a magic solution. If you're not willing to make these fundamental lifestyle changes, peptides will just be an expensive placebo that comes with potential side effects. You'll waste your money and possibly harm your health without getting any real benefits. Factor number 4, medical supervision and regular monitoring. Peptides directly affect your hormones and metabolism. According to clinical guidelines published in Endocrine Practice in 2022, you need comprehensive baseline laboratory testing before starting treatment and regular monitoring throughout your entire course of therapy. Your blood work should include complete metabolic panels, hormone levels, blood sugar markers including hemoglobin A1C, and other relevant tests depending on which specific peptide you're using and your individual health history. Symptoms like persistent nausea, severe gastrointestinal distress, unusual fatigue, significant mood changes, or any other concerning effects require immediate medical attention. These aren't minor inconveniences to simply push through. They're warning signs that need professional evaluation. Now let's discuss who should and who should not consider peptides for fat loss, because they're not appropriate or safe for everyone, and some people should absolutely avoid them. Who might benefit from peptides? According to the American College of Cardiology guidelines from 2022, people who have significant weight to lose, generally a body mass index over 30 or over 27 if you also have obesity-related health conditions like diabetes, high blood pressure, or sleep apnea. People who have genuinely tried diet and exercise but continue to struggle significantly with hunger and appetite control. Peptides like semaglutide can be genuinely helpful in these specific cases when used under proper medical supervision. Who should absolutely avoid peptides? Anyone under 18 years of age. Your hormonal and endocrine systems are still developing during adolescence, and manipulating them with peptides carries serious risks to normal development. Women who are pregnant or breastfeeding. According to research published in Reproductive Toxicology in 2021, we simply don't have adequate safety data, and the potential risks to fetal development or infant exposure through breast milk are too high to justify use. People with a history of eating disorders. Research published in the International Journal of Eating Disorders in 2023 shows that peptides that suppress appetite can trigger or significantly worsen disordered eating patterns, leading to serious health complications. Anyone with certain pre-existing medical conditions, particularly thyroid disease, history of pancreatitis, or a personal or family history of certain cancers, including medullary thyroid carcinoma. According to research published in Thyroid Journal in 2022, peptides can interact dangerously with these conditions. Let's discuss costs honestly, because peptides are quite expensive and they're often not covered by health insurance. Semaglutide and Tirzepatide through prescription programs can cost anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 per month if you don't have insurance coverage that approves them for weight loss. Peptides from compounding pharmacies such as CJC 1295 or ipamorelin typically range from $200 to $600 per month. You also need to budget for consultation fees, regular laboratory work, syringes, and other medical supplies. The total cost adds up very quickly. Now let's address a very important question that many people don't ask until it's too late. What happens when you stop taking peptides? Weight regain is extremely common after discontinuing GLP-1 agonist medications like semaglutide. Research published in Diabetes, Obesity, and Metabolism in 2023 shows that most patients regain approximately 2/3 of the weight they lost within just 1 year of stopping treatment. This is a very significant rebound. This isn't because the peptides damaged your metabolism permanently, it's because the appetite suppression effect goes away when you stop the medication, and if you haven't built truly sustainable eating habits and lifestyle changes during your treatment period, you'll naturally return to your previous eating patterns. According to research published in Obesity Science and Practice in 2023, the most successful peptide users are those who use the treatment period as an opportunity to learn proper portion control, develop genuinely healthy eating patterns, establish regular exercise routines, and address the emotional and psychological aspects of overeating. Let's discuss alternatives that are more cost-effective and potentially safer. High-protein diets naturally reduce appetite and help preserve lean muscle mass during fat loss. According to research published in the Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition in 2017, protein intake of 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilogram of body weight is optimal for fat loss while maintaining muscle. Regular resistance training builds and maintains muscle mass, which increases your metabolic rate and dramatically improves body composition. Research published in Medicine and Science in Sports and Exercise in 2019 shows you absolutely don't need peptides to achieve excellent body composition results through proper strength training. Adequate sleep, 7 to 9 hours per night, dramatically improves appetite regulation, reduces food cravings, and supports fat loss. According to a study published in Annals of Internal Medicine in 2010, poor sleep quality sabotages any weight loss effort, whether you're using peptides or not. Stress management is crucial. Research published in Psychoneuroendocrinology in 2018 shows that chronic stress elevates cortisol levels, which promotes fat storage, particularly around your midsection. Meditation, therapy, or even just daily walks can make a substantial difference. For most people, mastering these fundamental health principles produces better long-term sustainable results than jumping straight to peptides without first addressing the basics. The fundamentals work, they're safer, and they're far more affordable. However, if you genuinely optimized your diet, established a consistent exercise routine, improved your sleep quality, and managed your stress levels, and you're still struggling with significant weight to lose, then peptides might be worth discussing carefully with a qualified healthcare provider who specializes in metabolic medicine. Here's my bottom line recommendation on peptides for fat loss. They can be effective medical tools when used correctly, under appropriate medical supervision, and as part of a comprehensive, multifaceted approach that includes diet, exercise, sleep, and stress management. Semaglutide and tirzepatide have the strongest clinical evidence for significant weight loss. According to multiple studies published in the Journal of the American Medical Association in 2023, they work primarily through appetite suppression and require simultaneous lifestyle changes to maintain results long-term. Growth hormone-related peptides like CJC-1295 and ipamorelin have considerably weaker evidence, but may help with body composition improvement in very specific clinical contexts. They carry their own distinct risks and absolutely require ongoing medical monitoring throughout treatment. Other peptides like AOD9604 and MOTS-C are scientifically interesting, but currently lack sufficient high-quality research to recommend broadly for general use. They're more experimental than evidence-based at this stage of scientific understanding. Exercise caution. So here's my question for you. Have you tried peptides for weight loss? If so, which specific ones, and what was your honest experience with them? Or are you considering peptides but have concerns or questions? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below this video. This is a controversial topic, and I genuinely want to hear real experiences from real people in our community. Please click the like button if this video cleared up the confusion around peptide hype versus medical reality, and please subscribe to this channel for more evidence-based, honest breakdowns of health trends that affect people in your age group. I work hard to cut through the marketing nonsense and give you the actual science. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.